Welcome. Is it working? Oh, okay. All right. The the intro just cut out for me, so hopefully you guys got to see it all. What's going on? Welcome, welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Powercast, Nintendo News Daily. I'm your host, N64 Josh. Hope everybody is amazing. And some, my Santiam said, "Happy Blizzard Monday." Yes, that's accurate. I would say that's pretty accurate. So we're gonna swap back over to this cam because I feel like it's a little smoother. So, welcome, you guys. Uh, Strange stuff in the Nintendo verse right now, and I'm just gonna tell you guys, like, as I look through the news each day, it's like there's not a ton there. So, like, we're gonna look at it, we're gonna talk about it, but then I'm I want to start getting more from you guys, meaning if you only listen, like, on Spotify or whatever, I want you guys to start, like, leaving some comments that we can, that I can react to, respond to. If you're on YouTube, you're in the Discord, whatever the case may be. And since I feel like, uh since I feel like, you know, just Nintendo games are in a bit of a strange place right now, and we talked about this briefly, but I think the I think I know the reason. I think I know the reason. So we'll get into it. I want to start just talking about like stories. All right, you guys, like sharing some of your favorite memories from games of your past. I'm gonna choose games that we can talk about like for tomorrow's show. So like there'll be games on the radar for you to like, maybe they're games you played as a kid. We're bringing back game of the week, but like I just want to kind of have fun with this show. You guys have heard me say it plenty, but like it's so dreary out there in the Nintendo space right now. Just every like and the title of this show we're talking about a treehouse. Does anybody feel like we even need that? Like it's kind of crazy. So we're gonna talk about all the things, but just keep in mind that I'm gonna start pushing a bit harder for like comments and user interaction because I just want um I just want to look at the fun aspects of gaming. So I see let's see, is it um Diff official? What's going on? Welcome on in. Steak is here. Hello, hello. Nady Nay hitting us with the poke cope. Yeah, got the cope in there. So, anybody else that's just lurking, welcome you guys. So stoked to have you. What's cool? We're on YouTube. We're starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm a little late right now because we raced Mario Kart a little late on stream. Mondays are Mario Kart over on TikTok. So come hang out and race with us. Tuesdays we're going to be doing tennis if you want to get in on that, and then Thursdays is Mario Party. So just having a good time playing some games and hanging out. So Steak says this is a great week. Fallout 4, Resident Evil, and Pokemon presents with Fire Red and Leaf Green. You're right. I see Rachel is here as well. Welcome on in. Good to see you. So let's talk a little bit before we jump into the news. Like we've we've discussed we've discussed this stuff before. Like what is going on with Nintendo? Why is everything a bit I would say it feels like a bit slow for the hardcore, okay? And when I say hardcore, I'm talking about those of us or those people, I shouldn't say those of us, those people that like they buy Nintendo products to play Nintendo games. Period. Okay? That's it. But that's not what Switch 2 is. Switch 2 is not your Nintendo only system. But here's the biggest problem. The biggest problem that we're seeing right now is that the people that buy the Switch 2 to strictly play Nintendo games are probably playing the majority of their third party games on a PlayStation, a PC, or an Xbox. And so it's it's fantastic that we're seeing um that we're seeing so many uh, third-party games, but there's a lot of third-party games that, like, I mean, going back to Steak's comment, right? This is a great week. Fallout 4, not a new game for a lot of us. It's a very old game, right? Resident Evil, brand new third party, but also two older games, been on other consoles. And then the Pokemon Presents is going to be great. And I know there's going to be like some fantastic news coming out of there, but the games they're releasing are remakes. Now, we did just get Mario Tennis, but again, it's not for everybody. But it seems like Nintendo is being very strategic with not putting out anything that is going to cast too big of a shadow. I think they thought Mario Kart World would cast a much bigger shadow than it did, but it doesn't seem to be the case. And then so what's happening is they're leaving plenty of room for third parties because these third parties are taking a risk getting into a system that has a relatively low install base. Now, granted, it's setting records, it's getting there, and they're trying to sell old games to the early adopters, which are your hardcore who, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that there are people listening to this show that they've only played Switch and now they're only playing Switch 2, but I know that's not the case for everybody. Right. And so I want to grab a chat from Nate here. He says, I'm feeling a little blat on Nintendo. And I think this is part of the reason right now. Don't know what it is, but I'm selfish when it comes to what I like. Care for, I don't care for everyone anymore. Boom. There we go. So, um, but I mean, there's something to that, right? Like Pokopia is going to be new. It's going to be fresh. It's going to be huge. I anticipate. I'm anticipating it being huge. And I also had very high hopes for Mario Wonder, but now that's also it's going to be really fun for multiplayer. Don't get me wrong. Like I think there's a lot of fun aspects to it. But here's like, and I don't want to bring up what I dislike about it. But I was watching the trailer today when I was making my video for the Treehouse announcement. My short, the online multiplayer, you can't touch each other. So you're racing similar to how you play the regular game, but you can't mess with people. You're all there. You can see each other's ghosts, but you don't interact in any way, shape, or form. So unless they make some kind of change, but from what it looks like from the trailers, you're not going to be you're not going to be able to like throw a shell and hit somebody or anything along those lines. It's all going to be just how fast you can get to the end of the level. And that's not that that's entirely bad, but I think there is kind of some fun to be had with so are we still well, that was strange. It just said I lost connection. But you know, here we here we are. Here we are. Let's talk about some stuff. So first up, Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy. Wait, RX Gaming says, I feel like you can for the mini game. So that's I think for the local stuff. When you play Mario Wonder locally, you can bump into each other. It's like playing New Super Mario Brothers, where you could jump on each other's heads, send people into down into a hole, whatever the case may be, a pit, right? That that from everything that I've seen, even if you play Wonder now and you like race like with with friends or whatever, you don't you don't really the only interaction is from like the standees or whatever. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm just basing this off of what I saw in the trailer. So, grain of salt as always, but King Nintendo is here. Welcome on in. Um Stick says, I don't know if Mario Wonder needs at least half of a treehouse, in my opinion. It's strange. It's strange. So we're gonna get into it. We'll talk about it more. And the game, so we're just gonna pick like a random game to chat about. Tomorrow's game, you guys. I'm gonna state it now early. Tomorrow's game, and I'm gonna do the series as a whole because I think this is a game that kind of went through the generations up to Wii and then stopped. But it's Rampage. We're gonna talk about Rampage. Okay. So if you got any fun memories of Rampage, bring those tomorrow. Whether it's from the NES, I don't remember if there was Rampage on the Super Nintendo, but there definitely was on 64. There was like World Tour, I think it was called, and then like, you know, something cool like that. But then in like the GameCube and the Wii era, there was also Rampage games. So we're gonna be talking about that. If you got fun stories, I've got like childhood memories. And see, I'm even seeing chat right now, getting super stoked. So basically, we're just gonna fill the space with if there's not a ton of new stuff, we're gonna be chatting about, and I need you guys gotta help feed me what games you want. So be thinking about the game you want tomorrow, and I'll just randomly pick, and we'll just, it's just gonna be for discussion. I might grab a little bit of history about the game, but it's gonna be mostly be our experience with these games. So Nady Nay said I played NES Rampage way too much. Me too. Steak says arcade cabinets. Yes. Yeah. RX Gaming says I would love a new one. I was just in Dave and Buster's earlier this month, and there is one from the movies. It looked a little like it was, not fantastic, but it was there. And I was like, no way. Like I took a picture of it. So it was cool to see. I mean, obviously the movie's old, right? But the ones on GameCube and Wii and stuff, those were those were pretty fun. Those were pretty fun. So we'll be chatting about it. And I think, if there's arcade games you guys want to talk about, like all kinds of stuff, like I just want to talk about the joy as we like kind of look back on some of our favorites. So moving right along here, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth Team consistently aiming for 30 FPS on Switch 2 whenever possible. It's a more challenging production process. So we're over on Nintendo Life, and I'll just take a look at the quote here from, looks like Noaki Hamaguchi. Says we're consistently aiming for 30 FPS wherever possible for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and the third installment of the trilogy. Our engineers are working hard on tuning to ensure stable performance at that level. I hope players will look forward to it. And so, you know, obviously, like 60 is what everybody would want, right? No question. This game graphically, obviously taxing the system. The 30 is great when possible. Getting it as stable as possible. Ultimately, the goal here. That's what you want to see. But it seems like Square's taking all of the games that they're putting on the Switch 2 like very serious, and they seem to be the company that's like, yeah, I mean, this almost feels like NES, Super Nintendo era with Square, right? The Switch was definitely leaning that way. Like this is kind of in that same, like it feels like they've ramped up, and they're obviously, and they're everywhere. They've even made statement, like they've put out comments saying like, hey, we are like exclusivity is not fantastic right now. And so they want their games everywhere, everywhere. And so we see a lot of Square stuff. Cool to see that they're aiming for 30, trying to hit that. Again, the more stable the better. And I picked up Final Fantasy, but it's just been there's been I've been playing too much music, and which has been super fun for me. And gaming has kind of taken a bit of a backseat for the time being. I mean, I'm doing the streams and playing Fortnite, but um, Nady Day said, "Oh my god, sounds like Square likes Switch more than Nintendo." So there you go. That is funny. That's funny. Well, this is interesting. The I saw this from My Nintendo News, and um, Nintendo Life picked it up also. It says fans are asking Nintendo for a refund for Xenoblade Chronicles X Switch 2 upgrade. Now, here's here. Okay, So I don't know. It like it's from a Reddit post, and uh, without going all the way over there, like, so let's see. Yeah, so this is what's funny. This is what's funny. There's an edit at the bottom of here, at the bottom of the post on Reddit. It says many players are questioning what is wrong and don't seem to be noticing the problems. I'll leave some videos here. Right. So there's like a handful of YouTubers that are pointing this stuff out. Uh the comment section on the post from My Nintendo News was like everything was positive. And then they were saying this is coming from one Reddit post that like didn't like it apparently. Let's read it real quick. It says I just asked mine saying that the image quality of the upgrade version is worse than the original game, which is true. Again, according to all these comments, I have not seen that to be the case. RX Gaming saying it's crazy because there's no proof. They said they normally don't refund digital games, but can do it in this case after analyzing the problem, which they did in something like 1.5 minutes. Okay. Why I did this. Image quality seems sharper, but after a while, the image starts to grow over my perception and turns bad. Long range textures seem to have a uh, BEM applied a convolution filter on it, and the overhaul image seems to just FHD being upscales and anti-aliased with strong filters. Not really a true resolution game. I played the Wii U version at native 4K using Simu, and that version in 4K is incredible. I expected that Nintendo did that for the Switch 2 edition, but this is less than any other free update they've issued until now. I what I wanted to communicate to Nintendo by doing this, this isn't the Nintendo quality I expected and received until now. So I'll not pay for something that delivers less quality than a free patch. So like they're comparing this to what they I think Simu is an emulator. So they're comparing it to what they played on their emulator and saying it's not as good, essentially, from what I'm seeing. Like I don't know. I don't know. Like uh, Nintendo, I mean, if you got this and you're seeing it and it's not, it doesn't look great for you, yeah, get your refund. Like I'm not gonna. It's just what I find strange is I'm not seeing a lot of people that are agreeing with this from from the post I saw on X and whatnot. It just seemed like everybody was like, I'm absolutely loving this upgrade. It's way better. So I'm curious if the reason this person is saying it's worse is because they're comparing it to what they played on the emulator, but that's gonna look better. I mean, should Nintendo make it look as good as that? Maybe that's the argument. That should be the case. But again, I don't know how all this stuff works. I just play it and have fun. So, uh, Byzantium's in the same boat as me. I bought the upgrade and haven't played it yet, but this is kind of crazy. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And, if that is the case, if it's only kind of minor upgrades and it's not as great as, as what they're saying, just make it free at that point. Just make it free. I understand they want to get the Switch. I think having the Switch 2 version go out and having it in retail probably helps, probably helps move copies, but yeah, just it was super strange to kind of like to follow this a bit because um even right like the bottom of the article here says following our pretty glowing hands-on time with the game last week, we've since revisited Xenoblade Chronicles X on Switch 2 over the weekend and have spotted some of the larger issues ourselves. We've updated our thoughts on the upgrade since then. Docked, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition is great, and 60 FPS boost might be worth it alone. And in handheld, we eventually look past some of the bigger upscaling issues because we were running around so much. But when you start to focus on some of the details, you can spot the problem. So sounds like it's a bit more handheld than docked, which I mean, I'm typically going to play this docked anyway. like, I'm gonna be sitting here at the setup and playing or playing on the couch, like, I don't typically wanna play a game that's like this in handheld personally. Like, that's not gonna be for everybody, of course, but, so it does look like, um, handheld may be more of an issue potentially than docked, so Resident Evil Requiem leaker listen to this, guys. "Leakers deserve 1,000 deaths," says Hideki Kamiya. All right. A bit extreme, don't you think, is what Nintendo Life said. So looking at the article, it says Resident Evil Requiem has unfortunately leaked ahead of its release date on the 27th. Capcom itself has already posted a message on social media urging fans to refrain from sharing any potential spoilers. But now, game developer Hideki Kiyama has also offered his own 2 cents on the matter. Kiyama, as you no doubt know, served as a director on the original Resident Evil 2 back in the day and knows a thing or two about having his work leaked ahead of schedule. His message is, shall we say, quite extreme. There may well be some inaccuracies with the machine translation here, but in the general sentiment is that he wishes 1,000 deaths upon those who purposely leak games. So yeah, a bit extreme, but I mean, I think I think it does kind of give a bit of a bit of the behind the scenes to some of these people. This is this is this is this is art, like this is their art, and they want everybody to enjoy it and be surprised. So I see we got a resub over on Twitch. Yickum, what's going on? So good to see you. Welcome on in, my friend. Um, but I mean, there's definitely a the frustration comes through, right? Like there, you can see that he's definitely frustrated, and I mean, he goes on to say, this is crazy. It's not just 1,000 deaths. So it says, I'm sure the final developments of Resident Evil 2 were also exposed in a weekly photo magazine for your own selfish satisfaction. You trampled on the feelings of the users who were looking forward to the game, as well as the feelings of the creators who put all their effort into making it. It is a despicable act that destroys the happiness of everyone and deserves 1,000 deaths. May you be cursed to never be able to play games again. Like, watch out. Like he's casting spells at this point. So uh but I laugh because, I mean it's funny to hear these words, but I do see the frustration. And and I feel for him. Like I feel for him. And when your art is just out there being people aren't getting to experience it and then potentially having it spoiled, it's frustrating. So uh let's Nate's having a good time with this. Jack says, Josh, did you pre-order RE9 generation pack with 7 and 8 as well? No, I did not. Not yet. Not yet. So I'm just not quite sure. Like I'm at the very end of 7 on my Xbox. So I don't know. And I like those versions sell for so cheap on Xbox that I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I need them on Switch because I don't know that I'm gonna like I don't really care to play them handheld. So So I'll just have to wait and see, um, what I do. I probably pick up I'll probably pick up, Requiem just to be able to talk about it on, and just to give you guys impressions and whatnot, um, but I'm not sure about the other 2. So we'll just have to wait and see, and I'll have to look at the overall price of the pack too. If it's a pretty, and I think it was a pretty good deal if I remember correctly, so I will take a look. So how about you guys? So how many of you guys are picking up Resident Evil on Switch 2? Let me know in the comments here. Uh, Nintendo Life has a gallery of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Switch, and so you can see a handful of the pictures here. You see a Snorlax and some gameplay, and these images all come directly from Nintendo from their press site, and so uh, I gotta say, like, because I've never played this, I'm 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 kind of excited for this. The $20 doesn't seem that crazy to me, and, um So, like, I'm pretty stoked because I played Yellow and I played Let's Go Eevee, and I know these are remakes, but uh, I think it's gonna be fun. Like I was talking with Jasmine tonight, and she's like, "Oh, I want green." I'm like, "I'll get red then. We can do the trading and stuff." Because I know you can't. It's a bit. I was talking with Joey in the stream earlier. It's a bit tricky, or you can't really trade online. So we'll be able to do that. Um, we'll be able to do that, locally. So that'll be cool. So going back to the Resident Evil discussion real quick, Nadian A says 7, 8 are just old at this point. Maybe I'll grab 9, but eh. Jack says 89, you get all three. You can pay 79 for just 9. So it's a steal. Oh, yeah, that's a great deal. So that'd probably be the route I would go then. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take a look at it tonight after stream. So Joey says, but you can play uh fire red and leaf green on your phone. This is true. This is true. You can do that if you want. So, well, let's talk. You guys, if you're seeing the stream right now, can you tell I've been looking at guitars a little bit? Like there's only a few. The ads aren't following me everywhere. Like there's only a few on screen right now. Um, Jason says they should bring back the link cable. Yes, I agree. I agree. Like I was honestly hoping that it would be somewhat treated like NSO, but I think from my understanding is that and I think we kind of talked about it, the game can't change. They can't make any kind of changes to it or they have to get it re-rated. Right now it's grandfathered in uh with its exact rating because it's the exact same game. But if they made some changes, and I don't know if that would include making the link cable work online. I'm not sure. So, Jack said those guitars are awesome. Yeah, if you're a fan of Fender, there's some beauties on there. That's for sure. And it looks like even some Les Pauls. So, and some maybe what are those? Maybe Jacksons or um can't remember some of the other brands, but let's talk about this Nintendo Treehouse, you guys. It's happening at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. 80 minutes of hands-on gameplay with Pokopia and Super Mario Brothers Wonder Switch 2 Edition plus meetup in Bellabelle Park. The longest name ever. The longest name ever. This, like, I literally what does Obi-Wan say when he feels that uh what's what's the planet that gets blown. He's like, I heard all the Alderaan. There was all these voices cried out at once, and then they were just silenced. That's what happened when this tweet went out from Nintendo. All of the nerds' voices went out in tears, and then they were just silent, or like in excitement, and then they were just silenced because it was like, oh, this is not a direct. In fact, this is an 80-minute treehouse with Mario Wonder, which like, what else are they going to show for this? And and Pokopia, like that one I can see. I can see. But Wonder seems crazy. So I wonder what they're gonna focus on. I wonder what we're gonna how many times are we gonna say Wonder? Um and I wonder who like is this gonna be changing some people's minds? Like are they worried that they haven't shown enough with the Switch 2 version of Mario Wonder? And like Pocopia seems pretty straightforward, but I guess there's been some stuff that's come out, like the fact that you can, build online. And I my anticipation and my expectation, I should say, for this is that it's going to be the main focus is going to be multiplayer for both of these games. I think they're going to show like spend a lion's share of the time with multiplayer. I mean, Wonder is mostly multiplayer. Like that's mostly what it is. And I think some of the best aspects of Pokopia may end up being the multiplayer as well. So I will say that as I've seen like some different screenshots coming through and different videos of Pokopia, that I'm like, okay, there probably is more to talk about here. So Joey says now, will it be local or online multiplayer? So both games have uh online multiplayer. Mario Wonder for sure has local. I would assume Pokopia would have like some kind of LAN, like a LAN party. So um I um so Nate n- if you guys are in chat, I'm gonna go ahead and just let you read that without posting it. But Nate had the best typo ever. Let's just say he meant to type wonder, but it came out another word for hot dog. And so he loved Wonder, but they need to sell me this thing. So, that I hope somebody screenshots that. In fact, I think I'll get that right now because that's that is the best typo ever. But yeah, I mean, I'll ask you guys, where are you at with these two games? Are these day ones? Nate's saying like I loved Wonder, but like they got to sell me. So, do you think you're going to see something from this presentation that's going to make you want to upgrade for $20? Because Wonder is now getting pushed into that $80 game. The Switch 2 edition of Wonder is $80, and so is Pokopia, right? Isn't Pokopia 79? I don't know if they have the price here on the because I thought that's what I thought. Like the maybe it's 69, but I just remember like because everybody was kind of freaking out because it was a game key card, and so uh like it yeah maybe they obviously they're just looking at all of this as like they need all the opportunities they can get to get as many sales as possible. Like that's their main goal, right? That's what they're after. They want those sales. So I, I'm just not sure. Like, um, I'm a little bit worried about like Mario Wonder when somebody like me is even questioning it. That being said, and I've gone back to change my tune on Mario Party Jamboree. I think there's a ton of fun there, especially if you have like for local play, if you have more people to play the Switch 2 stuff with, it's very fun. It is very fun, but I mean, at the same time, you've got to have the mic like the microphone's there, but the camera also helps. But some of just the mouse, like the game I've spent the most time using mouse or using mouse at all, Mario Party Jamboree, Switch 2 edition. So uh there is fun. There is fun to be had there. And I think there's gonna be fun with Wonder as well. It's just selfishly, you guys know, I wanted to play more levels. I saw the Koopalings. I got so excited because they're my favorite from Mario 3 and Mario World. Like I love that. And I kind of thought we were gonna see like a new large single player adventure with the Koopalings. And so it got me pumped. And now that they're just kind of sprinkled in, I don't know that I'm as hyped about it. Now, maybe we'll find out tomorrow. Maybe there's more to this, but it's just like they kind of did like the long overview trailer. Are they going to really show us something? It feels to me like Treehouse isn't about showing us what's new. It's about just giving us long plays of what we already know about. So I have low expectations that it's going to be anything that's going to like really excite me. Now, maybe seeing the game in motion um with the Koopalings and how they interact with stuff, maybe it's going to feel a bit new. I mean, I'm not mad to go back and play Wonder again. It was fantastic and I really ran through it super fast. So, uh I just I hope the $20 is justified and that people are going to get what they pay for, you know. So, uh you guys got the jokes going with Nate now. That's cracking me up. Joey says, "But can I play Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 edition, meet up at Belleville Park with randoms online, or is it local only?" No, you can play with randoms. Up to 12 people in the online races. So it's like online race mode. There's like multiple multiplayer modes, and I think it's 8-player local for this for the that's and then it's 12-player for the online mode. I think 8-player yeah, I think it's 8-player local from what I saw. I was watching it today a little bit. So, but there's other aspects that are strictly local also. So it's like you gotta you'll have to see which modes are are your favorite and what your you know I don't know that all of them are online. All of them are local. I believe is how it's working. So we'll have to wait and see. But and we'll get a bit more of that information uh, tomorrow. It's just I feel it a bit strange that there's such a huge focus on multiplayer, and I feel like they would only come about that choice based on data, right? I would assume. So maybe they see this game being played a lot with locally, local multiplayer, and even still with online multiplayer. It just it, it's just shocking a little bit because it just seems like you know the game's kind of like it's pretty old at this point, and to breathe new life into it. I think my expectations were more like a Super Luigi U, where it was like 99 seconds. Try to get, or they had the sped up clock, and you were like there was that like the just the anxiety of that. Plus the levels I think were a little bit different because they had to be shorter. So I think I was expecting a bit more like that. So who knows? Maybe they're still going to meet those expectations. Maybe I don't know what these the Bella Bells do, right? Maybe they're like a variant of the Wonder Flower, and that does unlock some newer places to play. I don't know. So uh so we'll just kind of have to wait and see. Nate says, I think the Switch 2 version upgrades are losing its novelty for me. A little bit. Kirby was pretty good. Was pretty good. Part of the upgrade for me is I love seeing everything up-resed and all that. So that's a bonus for sure. So I'm looking at all the chats. Joey says, "Shoot, I'll be at bowling league while this is going on. Someone get the roundup for me when I'm done. I don't know if Nintendo allows rewatching. Oh yeah, it should be up. Yeah. So, Joey said, "What Switch 2 versions are left?" Yeah, you've got Smash. Uh, they could. I doubt they'd ever do it, but Mario Kart 8, right? Um, the more the Xenoblade, more the Fire Emblem. I believe. I believe there are more there. So, um, just to name a few off the top of my head, like Arms would be. I don't know if Arms got the upgrade or not. So there's a few. There's a few still that could give. I think Pikmin. Maybe some of the Pikmin games still need some love. The first Metroid Prime. Like so, there's still quite a few that they could do at least the free upgrades for. So we'll just have to wait and see. But that's gonna do it for tonight's episode. You guys remember tomorrow's show? We're gonna be talking about Rampage, and just as a whole series. So if you've got any fond memories, make sure to bring those. If you are listening to this after the fact and you can't make it to the live show, but you want to be a part of the conversation, you can comment on YouTube and you can comment on Spotify, and I'll pull those comments up for uh, for the show tomorrow. So, Joey, you need to look into Rampage because it's almost like having Donkey Kong in a King Kong, or like Donkey Kong slash King Kong type of scenario. So, uh, definitely check that one out. It's not available anywhere that I know of. So, one place that you can usually go and find it is like retro arcades, like barcades and stuff. They'll have a copy of or a machine for Rampage, and they're super fun. But it's a 64 game, it's an NES game, it's a GameCube and a Wii game. So I think it's in, it may be in some kinda licensing hell or whatever with, like, Acclaim, I think, in Midway. I don't know exactly who currently has the rights to it, but when that movie came out, there is a newer game I saw at Dave& Buster's you can try there, so, um Nate says you can get on a website where it streams. There you go. So Shadow Forks Games says Rampage on GameCube, right? Like there's that's as soon as I said the name Rampage, everybody went to a different game. And I've been playing it since the NES, loved it on 64, loved it on GameCube, loved it on Wii. It was a game I was literally just talking with my daughters about at the beginning of the month. They were like, "Yo, where can we play Rampage?" Like they wanted to jump in. So really really cool stuff. So it'll be fun to jump in and talk about that one tomorrow. So, and if you guys have ideas for other games that we can, I just want to kind of pull from a pool, bring your suggestions tomorrow and we'll talk about it then. So appreciate you guys all so much. And remember, as always, play it loud.